Hey guys, Tommy Bryson here, and welcome to the Tommy Bryson Show. And by the way, I don't care who you are, $178,000 is always going to be a lot of money to me, unless we're talking about maybe like 100 years from now. However, today's money, $170,000 is more than enough for two people to actually live on. So today I want to see exactly how this couple from Chicago actually go ahead and spend their $178,000 earnings every single year, okay? This video should be awesome, okay? It should be a lot of saving and investing, but it usually isn't. However, we'll see. I might get surprised today. And by the way, if you guys are new here, I post videos every single day, so make sure to also subscribe and hit the bell to get notified, and on top of that, also destroy the like button. Now, without further ado, let's see exactly how these people right here spend $178,000. This should be good.
The arts and ballet specifically.
By the way, I never understood how those people like put their foot like that, like directly down and just spin around. Like, I never understood that.
Have a stigma of not being a lucrative profession. And that for me is a shame, because if you're a ballet dancer, you're not doing it for the money. You're doing it because you love it and it's something you're passionate about. But
I think passion is involved in everything you do. So it's a part of the game, but money is also important too, you know? It's great to do your passion, but if it makes you no money, it might be a problem.
It's a profession that a lot of people make a very, very good living in.
$178,000 a year being ballet dancer. Is it ballet? Ballet or ballet or ballet? I don't know. Correct me down there, guys. Let me know how you say this word.
We both met at the Joffrey Ballet. Geraldine joined in 2011, and I joined in 2009. Once she joined the company,
Bro, those shoes are like they're nothing. Like there's nothing. There's no cushion there. There's nothing there. And these people do all that stuff with those shoes right there. It's just like a little piece of cloth.
Crossed paths kind of immediately, and the rest is history. Last year,
By the way, ballet, I can't say that word, ballet is like a real thing, okay, guys? Like, it is real exercise, okay? It's not like little work. No, it's like real stuff.
Took home about $77,000 from the Joffrey Ballet.
And I made $66,000 from the Joffrey Ballet.
Awesome. So 77, 76, did he make 77? And she make like 60-something thousand. That's a lot. They make an additional money teaching dance classes. Okay, so that's awesome. So they also teach dance classes. That's awesome. And by the way, they make courses too, even more money. And performing in other companies' productions. Awesome.
Last year, I made $15,000 in additional income.
And I made $20,000 in additional income.
Awesome. Dylan, I always love like the apartment side to this thing, guys. Okay, so basically 2-bedroom, 1.5 bath, 1.5 bathroom. I'm laughing because basically I'm always curious to see exactly like how much money do these people spend, okay, on all this stuff. This is what I want to know, okay? I'm always curious about apartments. It does look nice though. What's going on here? By the way, it's like a fancy thing now where like all the bathrooms, all the kitchens have like LED lights and the people are like freak out about it. I don't know about that whole LED light thing. We
bought this apartment 3 years ago.
In 2017
of
May.
So they bought this apartment. Okay, so this is like their condo.
And
awesome.
It was originally listed at $349,000. Actually, we managed to get it for $338,000 because we offered free tickets to the ballet for a season to the...
Oh, wow, look at that. So they got a discount because the person that was actually selling this actually said, hey, you know what? I'm a big fan. So they got some tickets and so on. That's pretty cool, you know? Now, by the way, is paying $330,000 a lot of money for a condo, a 2-bedroom? The answer is yes. It is a ton of money. However, right, on top of it, you have like the HOA fee. Once you're done paying this thing off, you still have to keep paying this maintenance and all this other stuff. You can't even do whatever you want with it. That's the one thing that I don't like about condos, right? If the HOA says, you know, say you can't even rent it, you can't do this, it might be a massive issue. That's the one thing I don't like about condos. The freedom is lacking in that aspect.
Previous owners.
We put down $15K. We were
It's like around 3.5%. I'm not a mathematician. I'm just guessing, and I think I guessed right.
I'm upset that it didn't come with a parking spot, but
Wow, so no parking spot either with this condo. Interesting.
in the long run, we're so thankful because we don't have a car, and I don't think we'd ever have a car here in Chicago.
Yeah, I mean, it all depends. Kind of like saying, like, you know what, my place didn't come with a parking spot in New York, but do you have a car? No, I don't have a car, but I just wanted a parking spot, right? By the way, in New York, you can rent out parking spots for around $300 a month, and that's just all passive income. It's crazy here. People spend so much money on cars in New York. It's insane. They pay $1,953 on a month on this mortgage, okay? That's probably on a 30-year mortgage, if I'm not mistaken. And I wonder if they have any other properties. That should be interesting. And I wonder if they're married. It's always interesting when people like get things and they're not married just yet, because you know what? It can be a financial trouble if basically they not together anymore. And now they're like, okay, so who's gonna get this? Who's gonna get that? I wonder if they're married. I think they are though. They spent around $30,000 on renovation. I thought this condo looked amazing. So although they got it for $330, they still ejected the price back to like $360. So way too much money, man.
Our big main renovations were the kitchen and then the 2 bathrooms.
It does look great, by the way. It does look great. I'm not gonna lie, guys. It does look amazing. All right, let's hear the budget, guys.
I don't really budget per se, but
so that's usually a bad sign, okay? You need a budget. No budget, you don't know what you're doing, okay? Not like financially, but basically you don't know where your money is going. It's like a real thing. Like you just don't know what you're doing. Where's my money going? You don't know.
But when I do spend my money, I make sure that it is somewhat.
Bro, did I just read this right? Did I just read this right, guys? Guys, we can stop the video right here, okay? These people are spending $2,885 on food on a monthly basis for 2 people. I've heard a lot of stories in my lifetime, but I have never heard someone spending over almost $3,000 literally on food. I've never heard about this. Like this, they must have, for example, like maybe eating out a lot, or for example, they must have, for example, a supermarket in their house. Okay, this is insane.
Essential.
They spend more on food than they do on their mortgage. That's crazy. They're paying $1,000. Oh my God, that's insane, bro.
I don't go to the nail salon. I just cut my nails myself.
I don't go to the nail salon. I do it myself. But then you're spending almost $3,000. Is this a typo? Is this a typo? And by the way, I just read that basically the dog has cancer or something like that. So he does get chemo treatments. So I do understand that. That's fine. You want to save your dog? I'm not going to hate on that. That's fine. However, the food though, that's on eating out and takeout food and groceries. I'm pretty sure they don't do that much grocery shopping at all.
We don't buy water bottles. We try not to buy coffee. Just those little things that we could spend money on, they do add up.
Yeah, but so is people are, oh my God, I don't get it, you know, like $2,885 on food. This is a new high, guys. I have never seen this in my whole life. This couple is engaged and doesn't have a joint account yet. You know, by the way, nice diamond, by the way, really nice diamond. But by the way, guys, you know, I would never ever buy a property, a car, a condo, a complex, a single family, multifamily. I don't care what it is. I would never do that with my girlfriend or my fiance. Because guess what? If we break up, what the heck happens then? If you pass away, what the heck happens then? Only with my wife. That way you have your rights. I also have my rights. And by the way, I would treat our incomes the same exact way. We have a joint account and we have everything there, okay? I don't like this idea. It is dangerous.
We do split pretty much everything right down the middle.
We love to go out to dinner. We love to go with friends. And also it's been really helpful
in August, they spent $520 on groceries, $603 in restaurants. Let's see the rest.
Relationship building for us around Chicago.
And $1,762 on takeout. What are you taking out? What are you taking out, guys? Guys, this is beyond me. It reminds me once that my teacher, my professor in college told me, Tommy, yeah, we go for dinners all the time, me and my wife once a week. I'm like, okay, that's awesome. Maybe like $50. No, we spend like around $500 on a meal. And I'm like, what are you drinking? And like, what are you eating? Oh, it's just like a high-end restaurant, very nice vibes. And I'm like, are you crazy? And by the way, this was my finance professor. Could he afford it? The answer is yes. But could this like couple afford it? The answer is no, obviously. They don't have their own home yet. On top of that, they're not married yet, just yet. But also, right, you have this income that comes from entertainment. If she breaks a leg or he breaks a leg, what do you do now for income, right? Or for example, pandemic hits, what do you do now for income, right? It's like, there's so many risks to this factor, man. It's so many risk factors to this entire problem here, okay?
So the retirement age for ballet, it really varies. Some people it's 25, they go on to do something else, but full career in ballet will usually end around 35 or
by the way, jobs like these guys, okay, where there is a limit to how long you can do this for, it's very important that you understand that the money you make today is not going to be there tomorrow. So for them, 25 to 35, you're done with ballet, what makes you a lot of money. What do you do after that, right? For YouTube, it might be a decade, right? A decade, maybe 15 years. Most people might be a year or 2 years. That's about it. So you got to take the money you actually make and invest a lot of it, okay? That's always my outlook on these things. They make a lot now, but what happens in 10 years from now? And by the way, he's 30, she's 29. So they're coming along that 5-year mark. I wonder if they're going to actually quit. I don't know what's going to happen.
or 40. It's really important to save now, and we're savers. We like to see our savings. We have it in a savings account.
Dylan has $13,000 in savings, and Geraldine has $35,000. Together they have somewhere around, what is it, like $48,000 in savings. It's a lot of money, but remember, right, you got to keep investing money. If you're investing $500 a week together, that's $1,000, $4K a month. Over the next year, that's around $48,000. No, that's $2K a month. My bad, guys. So that's $2K a month, $24,000 a year. That's basically like maybe like a property, or for example, like into like your investment, your Roth IRA, whatever you want to do. But the answer is you got to invest money. Investing is going to be king, because when you lose this job, because eventually you will, what happens then is going to be very important. Having savings are just going to get eradicated. But cash flow, the money your money makes you, is going to save you. That's going to be your saving grace.
We don't have a 401k. I don't like the idea of waiting to see that money when you're 65.
I don't like the idea of waiting to see that money when you're 65. By the way, a 401k is basically you put your pre-tax money into it. They also have kind of like a business here. So in reality, it's also tax deductible. So it's kind of like money that the IRS would take from you. So why not even go ahead and invest that money? Yes, you have to wait a while, but no big problem. You also have, for example, the Roth IRA option or the Roth 401k option. There are so many options there. Or for example, a taxable account. There is no excuse. No excuse.
Especially since our retirement age is 35, 40.
They contribute to a pension plan through the union ADMA. Cool. By the way, these belay, man, the upper strength that this guy has to have must be on a whole insane level. That's crazy. Dancing during the pandemic. This is going to be interesting. Very interesting.
We were very much impacted by COVID-19. We usually have a program in October.
At least, for example, with COVID and everything that happened, at least now they can't spend that much money, right, on takeout and so on. Now they can save more money on that stuff, probably cook from home. That's the only thing positive that came out of this.
Which is about 10 shows. And then, of course, we have the famous Nutcracker, which runs for about 30 shows in December. And unfortunately, Nutcracker and our October program were both canceled this season.
And that's what scares me. It scares me a lot that you have this job that's so dependable on income that can fluctuate or be taken away from you physically or by hazardous things that go on. For example, the pandemic, or he breaks a leg and then they have like this whole thing. They're not married yet either. Very, very, very strange thing here, you know, a lot of risks attached to this. There are no in-person shows, but the company is planning a virtual production. That should be interesting. Should be interesting.
You know, while it's a huge blow, we both have been taken very good care of by the Joffrey and the dancers as well.
That's awesome. The Joffrey guaranteed the rest of their contracts from the last season. Okay, that's awesome. But again, Warren Buffett says this one quote: I rather not rely on the kindness of strangers or other people. You know, rely on your own money that you actually have. That's going to be the most important thing. Because sometimes they might say, yeah, no problem. But then next year, what happens then? Okay, or next month, what happens then, right? You got to be very careful and dependent on the kindness of others. Be grateful, but be careful. As well as 36 weeks of next season contracts. Interesting. That's almost 3 years. That's crazy.
During COVID, the Joffrey gave each dancer a 4x6 piece of marley, which is kind of flooring that's appropriate for doing ballet. So we laid it out here. We moved this table over there and moved that couch here so we could have like a
dance studio.
If I ever try to do ballet, guys, I'll probably crush every bone in my body. When they aren't working for the Joffrey, they typically file for unemployment benefits. Do you see what I'm saying, guys? Okay, do you see how things can go from, oh my gosh, I spent $3K on food, to now, oh my gosh, I'm on unemployment now? Do you see the big difference that I'm saying here? I don't say this stuff to make fun of people or to say, oh my gosh, you suck, you should not do this. I say out of like, hey, this is very dangerous, right? You gotta have your emergency fund. You gotta be investing money, and you have to start working on passive income. It's like one of the best ways to avoid things like this. Okay, that way, if things stop, you're on unemployment, yes, but you're still getting some form of income the same way. That's the most important thing. This summer, they received the additional $600 a week federal unemployment boost. You know, what is that, like $1,200, $2,400 versus their $6K they were actually making? It's not that much. You know what I'm saying? Not that much. When you have, for example, a lifestyle of $3K in food, but I only getting, like, for example, $2,400 a month, it's a big difference. You know what I mean? And you have this apartment that's cost so much money also, and you spend $30K on it, you start to have second thoughts about a lot of things.
My last very big splurge was an engagement ring for Geraldine.
A forever splurge. It's interesting people say that, you know, but I'll tell you my comment on this in a few seconds.
I proposed to her almost a year ago on September 26th. I did spend a lot of my money on her ring. I wanted her to have something really beautiful on her finger.
I wonder how much it costs. Let's see if they say it.
For the rest of our lives, and I wanted it to be really special for her. And honestly, you know, if I had all the money in the world, I would spend it on Geraldine if I had the choice.
But okay, wait. Dylan and Jolie plan on getting married in Italy. Okay, interesting. So they don't say the whole wedding engagement ring. Okay, I'll tell you how much I spent on my fiance. I spent $3,600 on a ring that goes for around $6,000, and I have the whole appraisal letters right here in this envelope. I think I can show you guys. I think it's right here actually. I'll show you guys so you can actually see what I'm talking about. Okay, I can't show like all the information here, so I'll cover it to this point right here. But look, the ring I bought my fiance is worth around $5,600, and I paid around $3,400 for it, right? So I have insurance on it. So if we lose it, we can just go ahead and get back the money and buy a new ring. But on top of that, okay, $3,600 is a lot of money. But you know, I saved up for the ring, so it's not that much at all. But in reality, if I ever want to buy my fiance or my wife then a bigger ring, I can if I want to. But am I gonna say, you know what, I'm gonna spend $20,000 or $13K in a ring? Is that a smart idea? The answer is no. And by the way, the proportion of a ring does not equal marriage, like happiness and all that stuff. So yeah, it is great. It is special, but it's also a lot of like, I can't course this channel, but it is just a lot of marketing, right? Like, oh, the ring, the diamond. No, just get what you can. Most important, just get what you can, and that's it. And if you wanna, and what is it called? And if you wanna upgrade that in the future, then that's fine. Go ahead and upgrade it.
We're not in a rush really because we're essentially married already.
Not legally. You know, this is like the thing. You're essentially married, but not really, because again, if something happens to him, you own a house with his mom now, right? If he breaks up with you or you break up with him, now what does he do, right? It's a big conflict. You never know what's gonna happen.
But also,
their dog is still alive, so that's awesome.
our dog Kahlua is a little old lady. She was diagnosed with lymphoma, I think we spent almost like $8,000 to $9,000 on her chemo treatments.
Yeah, yeah.
And actually yesterday morning we found out that she got it again. The thought of
Wow. Wow. So they're gonna have to go ahead and put her back in treatment. It sounds like, I'm not sure how like pet insurance works, but I would definitely have my pet on insurance. I wouldn't get a pet without insurance. I love my turtles. They don't get sick. They're awesome. They live for like around 100 years, so they're like a lifelong pet. I love those pets. I love dogs, by the way, but dogs are not lifelong pets, you know. And I know it sounds messed up, right? But the idea of like having a pet and then every 13 years or so the pet is gone, it hurts me a lot, you know. So I like long life pets. I like turtles. I like birds. Like there's a parrot that lasts like around 90 years, so they go for a very long time. So I love those pets.
like going to Italy and leaving her behind is like definitely not a priority for us.
They anticipate spending around 10,000 in Kahlua upcoming. Yeah, that's insane, you know. But it's also like a part of their family also, so I understand that too. But the saying of, you know, people draw these pictures in their head, right? I need to go to Italy to get married. How about you just go ahead and sign the documents now where you're married. When you want to have the wedding, you go, for example, and do the whole wedding, right? That way, like, you're legally bound and married. And if anything happens, you have that contract to say, hey, everything's good here, right? So that is like by far the most important thing here.
We love her very much and don't want to give up on her, so we're gonna go ahead with treatments with her again and do our best to keep her around as long as possible.
Yeah, that's pretty sad stuff, man. I would never tell someone, by the way, my grandma would be like, yo, let that dog die. You know, my grandma grew up like that, you know, like $10,000, are you crazy? That's like enough to like take care of the whole family, you know? I understand that perspective too, like from a point of like scarcity and the point of like we don't have that much money. But in America, if they make a lot of money and they can afford it and they want to have this dog around for a very long time, I don't mind. Like, do what you gotta do, right? But remember, man, you gotta take care of priorities too.
Our career goals for After We Dance seem pretty lofty. It's one of the reasons why we have kind of strict saving rules and why Geraldine wants us to save a lot of money. One of my
Yeah, it sounds like she's scared, and she should be, right? Because you don't know what's gonna happen after you're done dancing.
goals is to start a production company eventually. So I would really like to create a lot more content around the arts that
Yeah. And by the way, I believe in anything that they want to do, right? But you gotta find a way to make money until this thing that you have going on is going to make you more money. Does that make sense? So if I want to get into production, but I don't have any money from it, let me get a job on the side to make me income while I'm also working on my production company. That way, if anything happens, I'm still good to go no matter what. Does that make sense, guys? The point is security. Security is very important.
doesn't just relate to other artists and dancers. I want it to relate to people as a whole.
And I would love to pursue a career in interior design after.
And by the way, their house looks amazing, okay? Like I would not be surprised. Like she looks like she's pretty good at interior design and so on. And there is another chapter to life. I like this type of stories where you stop doing something, move on to the next one. That's pretty cool. Reminds me a lot of what's this guy's name? Very famous guy, Leonardo. He went from he did everything basically, right? Leonardo, what's his name? Leonardo, the I forgot the name. Wow, that's insane.
I'm done dancing.
The guy that drew the Mona Lisa, guys, that same guy was like into like politics, into like a bunch of different things. Oh my, I forgot what is his name?
I don't know what
Leonardo da Vinci. There you go. I was not gonna sleep today.
avenue to take. I just know that I love to kind of curate rooms and vibes, and it kind of gives me the same joy as when I'm dancing on stage.
That's awesome. The couple would also like to invest in real estate properties. Do that after you're done paying for whatever you're paying, or you sell that property and you buy a decent home.
After our careers in dance, we would still like to hopefully have this place and Airbnb it or rent it out, depending on where we move. But we would like to move back to California eventually.
California is so expensive.
But I feel like our apartment here is kind of prime real estate because we're right next to Wrigley Field.
Cool.
The reason why I wanted us to be profiled was I think it's important for people to know that you can make a living in the arts. It's not just the people you've heard of.
Yeah, that is true. But it's also very limited. limited amounts of money you can actually make in it. Not saying that you won't make a lot of money, but when it does make you money, by the way, you might not make any money either, right? It's like with YouTube, right? But when you do make money, usually you make a lot of it. And you have to take that money and invest it because you don't know when it's gonna stop. That's the one thing about this game, you know, like you get a lot of money, but then it stops. And then you're like, oh, what do I do now?
That are doing well. Obviously, we don't make a ton of money, but we do well enough
They make a lot of money
to really enjoy our lives and also get to do something we love. And so not only do we feel wealth of the pocket, but we feel wealth of the mind, body, and spirit through.
You know how I get a lot of wealth of money and buying all that stuff? Knowing that I have an emergency fund, knowing that I have investments, and knowing that if anything happens, I'll be good. That gives you a lot of patience, right? Imagine making $178,000 for another 10 years. That's $1.7 million, and investing a big chunk of that, maybe half of it or whatever, right? That and basically like in 10 years you double your money. So now you have around maybe like, I don't know, like you should have like around another $1 million invested, right? That's the idea. So now you have $1 million making you passive income of $40K per year. It's a lot, right? It's a lot of money. Making $40K in passive income per year. That's the whole goal here. All right, so that's the end of this video, guys. What do I think about it? Overall, I think this couple is great. They're not that bad, but they have very bad financial planning, honestly. And if I were them, what would I do here? Well, the first thing is I would get married because basically we own a house together, so that's very important for legal reasons. On top of that, I would ensure that I'm investing a bulk of my money, not just saving it, and also have emergency funds. Also, maybe get rid of debt if they have debt. We don't know if they have debt or anything like that. They do have the debt on the mortgage, obviously. It's funny, like you get a 30-year mortgage and you don't know exactly what you're gonna do next. It's very risky stuff, right? That's why the best thing is you buy a house you can really afford. You try to pay it off fast. That way you're done with that, and you get rid of basically like the entire risk of mortgage. But that's my advice here, guys. Comment down below and let me know exactly what you thought about this video. What do you thought about this couple? Comment down below. Let me know. Almost $3,000 in food, man. That's insane. I'll see you guys tomorrow. As always, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you're notified. If you guys want to text me, join my Patreon, link down below, or send me a DM on Instagram at Tommy Bryson. And before I go, if you want to watch another video, here's a video right here, and click my face right here. See you guys tomorrow, and as always, peace.